Okay. So I'd like to start our webinar. I would like to welcome all of our distinguished speakers and partners from around the world with some words in local language in Congo. Botemba Ndeko Nangai. Bonjour, my frère and partners. My name is Dr. Alexander Titov, or Dr. Sasha. I am Deputy Secretary General of International Digital Economies Association IDEA. And this year, we have a strong focus on Central African region as an emerging market and growing economy and digital economy. And in this session today, we will know a lot of new useful information and insights about the trends and what's happening in tech space, in digital space in Congo. And now I'd like to give a floor to Secretary General of IDEA, Ms. Christina Mormaklang, for her welcoming speech.
Good evening, everyone. It's not really so much a speech, more like an expression of gratitude and our commitment. Let me just correct a little bit what Dr. Alexander said. Our focus is not just Central Africa, but Africa in general. The 21st century is the African century. And I have been very, very vocal in many of our engagements that the biggest support and the biggest engagement that we have received, although it's not to discount the kind of support that we've gotten from all over the global majority, we will have to say is coming from Africa. Last year, we had the honor and the pleasure to do a roadshow and to launch IDEA. We started off in South Africa, and we were very happy to have been so warmly welcomed in Kenya, which is one of the homes of not just mobile money, but digital economy overall. Just last January, we launched IDEA in the largest digital economy in Africa, which is Nigeria. And later on today, we hope to be joined not just by our IDEA leadership from Nigeria, but also a couple of unicorns who've actually blessed and graced this incredible region. This coming May, it is our honor to be shining the light and bringing attention to Central Africa. And we would like to thank our partner, Monsieur Luc, our Congolese partners, and we cannot wait to be with you, Luc, and the rest of the global majority in Brazzaville. But it's not just about Africa and Central Africa tonight. You will hear from leaders in this incredible continent, and also from leaders in ASEAN, our G20 committee leadership, and also our BRICS committee leadership. Your presence here today highlights the importance of Africa as a leader in the global digital majority. Central Africa is at a turning point. And if you would allow me to just share very briefly, I know that it was early part of this year or latter part of last year when another country mentioned that there ought to be more connectivity between Central Africa and the rest of our regions in the global majority. Look at what Central Africa has to offer. The Republic of Congo, for one, wants to be able to exercise 5G leadership in the region. Central African Republic launching a couple of executions in blockchain with the launch of the Sango coin. Gabon, for one, is looking at projects related to digital identity and e-governance. It's interesting because just before this particular webinar, we just had a call with Taiwan. Our incoming chair for digital identity and trust technologies is actually coming from this region. And we hope to be able to bring a couple of technologies that could support this region, Monsieur Luc, from cybersecurity, also at the same time to digital identity, to insurtech, fintech, and of course, data centers. The Democratic Republic of Congo, for one, is looking into strengthening their digital policy. Our partner from the government of DRC is here. Hello, Olga. Now, this is a call to action to the rest of the world in investing in Africa and specifically in Central Africa's digital future. One of the things we hope to be able to do is actually work very closely with various fronts from around the world who can then engender support for the startups in this region. Aside from our partner, Mr. Ian, one of the serial unicorns in Africa, specifically Nigeria, we're also joined today by our chairman in investments and fundraising in IDEA, one of the African leaders, Mr. Ali Hussein. IDEA is committed to supporting Central Africa through its digital transformation by bringing the right attention. And regardless of whatever potential uncertainties there might be in some parts of Africa, we will be showing that it is business as usual. Right, Olga? Business as usual, and that Africa is open, always ready, always on for business. Thank you, everyone. Merci beaucoup. And we look forward to all seeing you in Brazzaville. We love you, Africa. We love you, Central Africa.
Thank you very much, Amor. Thank you so much for your opening remarks and invitation for all of our partners to join programs in Central Africa. And now I'd like to give a floor to Monsieur Luc Misi-Dimbazi. He is advisor, head of department, post telecommunication at Digital Office of Prime Minister of Congo. He is the head of OCEAN program in May. And we would like to hear from Mr. Luc, from you about the landscape, digital landscape, what now is happening actually in Republic of Congo, how you work, and we know that you work hard to improve digital infrastructures, to support economic growth in Central Africa. And of course, we wish to listen and to hear more about the coming program in May, so we can invite as many participants, as many investors and partners to contribute to your initiatives. So the floor is yours, Mr. Luc.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Alexander. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Christina. It's really pleasure to organize this webinar with IDEA as part of the OCEAN. I think Christina has planted a clear picture of the sub-region in Central Africa. And today for me, if you allowed me, I will introduce you also my team because I will share you give you more information regarding OCEAN by my colleague called Anemone Dibas. Will introduce you our information. Will give you more information regarding OCEAN. But regarding in ICT sector, I just want to say to you that we have many opportunities in Central African because the 10 last years we had many invest, and today we can say we have enough infrastructure on telecommunication because internet is available, but we need, what is the most important point, is to have the services and all the activities relative of the digital. That is the main point. It means we need more innovation. We need more collaboration with another countries. We need more investment. We need also to have more exchange. That is a very important point because some sectors as Fintech, as transformation of digital in our administration is the main point we need to develop very quickly. And for that, we need the partnership, the new kind of the partnership. It's for me a real pleasure to exchange. And today I have not all the number of the key information to give you, but we just to be general. And I don't know if Anemone is ready. She can show you what we plan to do to improve ICT in new partnership with some members of IDE on the different sector regarding the investment, also the technical, fintech, new services. Anemone, if you can take the stage for that.
Sure. Hello, everyone. I'm actually trying to share my screen, but for now, this isn't working. So if you could just give me a few minutes.
No worries.
Maybe we can give hosting to Anemone, maybe also. They are the host, right?
Yes.
Yes, Jonathan and Anemone are host.
I don't know if Jonathan is here and if he can try to share his screen. Oh, wait, I think it's working. Okay,
Wonderful.
perfect.
Thank you so much.
We can see it.
Can you all see it?
Yes.
Okay. So actually, I'm sorry, it is in French because we used to use this one for some other collaborators. Thank you all for meeting us today. So actually, as you all know, we are organizing OSIAN once again this year in the month of May. We are going to talk about some thematics that we hope will be occurring during the seminar. So first of all, we're going to talk a little bit about OSIAN. What is it and what we are expecting? So as you may know, OSIAN is part of the Practic organization, which was created in the Republic of Congo here in Central Africa. So by the initiative of Mr. Luc, who is here with us today. This year, we wanted to call OSIAN Bangwana in order to consecrate the transformative action of OSIAN for this next edition. So actually, we are expecting about 25,000 visitors, and we will have around 150 person exposing, and a little bit less than 200 people talking. We are expecting about 15 different countries from all over the world, mainly. And the main goal is, first of all, to talk about the different aspects and the opportunities we could actually see in Central Africa, especially in Congo, and to be able to exchange, to have countries exchanging about what is possible to do, what are the opportunities, and how we're going to do all of that. So, as I said, the main goal is to promote the numerical transformation and the technological innovation in Central Africa. So we want to do a mix of companies, startups, public institutions, investors, and we are expecting some experts as well in order to discuss the different opportunities related with new technologies here in Congo. I don't know if Mr. Luc wanna develop a little bit about this part and what is expected, but as I said, we will have during during OSIAN some formation, some panels as well regarding different numerical and transformational thematics. We'll have some networking moment as well and different conferences with some people we are expecting to take part in this. I don't know if Luc, you want to develop a little bit about this part and what is expected. Can you hear us?
Maybe you can go ahead and then wait for comments later,
Sure.
okay?
Sure. So here are some of the thematics we are supposed to be talking about. So the first one is AI, obviously, because this is really a main topic nowadays everywhere around the world. We will talk about cloud cyber security and compliance, data center as well, such as numerical finances, numerical regulation, sustainability, numerical platform as well. We will also talk about connectivity and internet, infrastructures, datas, which is, I think, one of the main issues we could be encountering, and numerical identities. Regarding the different conferences, we elaborated 5 different ones. The first one will be regarding a conference on financement and investments within the tech and innovation sectors. Then we will talk about the different conferences from the numerical agencies in Central Africa. The third one will be on responsible systems. A fourth one regarding funds of services. And the last one will be women in tech. So what we are trying to do is actually to make of OSIAN a platform of opportunities. We also have some people trying to grow startups who will be participating in a contest in order to be able to share their insight regarding technologies and what they are trying to do for the future. And here is, for example, one of the example of a challenge was wind. I think it was last year. So yeah, this year, as we said, we're trying to show we're trying to show how innovation can be part of the development of Central Africa. We are trying to create opportunities, financing opportunities for startups and technological companies. We are also trying to stimulate the regional and international cooperation between different countries. And we want to encourage the digital transformation through companies in order to have best competitivity. And we also want to support entrepreneurship within these sectors and to help different talents in Africa in the tech industry. So for the participants, we really want to reinforce capacities and access to innovation, such as networking opportunities. And for companies and businesses, the main goal will be to increase the visibility, such as maybe partnership between companies and different countries, and obviously some access to new innovative projects. In order to participate, we would have actually a different type of entering modalities. So the first one would be as being an official sponsor. So you would have like a VIP access with a stand, some different activities that you'll be able to present. Also the different participants you want them to interact, or the investors. The second one is Elite Plus, where you will have as well access as a VIP, so some stands and the different activities you want to put into place. The just Elite one, where you can see that you have as well VIP access, the stands. The only difference is the investors who won't be allowed. You can also just come being an exposant and just expose your stand and have some people interacting with. And the last one would be you choosing actually what you want to offer and how you want to be invested within Ozian. So you can just subscribe using the Ozian website online. And I think this was all for me. We can
Okay. Mr. Luke, do you want to say something in addition to presentation?
No, thank you. Thank you for this presentation, Amenum. It was a part of the Ozian event, but I know we will have more information regarding Central African economy and general opportunities for the business by two layers, women, Madame Belbin and Madame Opion will provide more information on key aspects on the cases in Central Africa. Thank you very much. I let Alexandre lead this discussion.
Thank you so much. So now, as far as we know a lot about your program, together with our ID partners, we need to create a sort of action plan. And here we have Dr. Patrick Conte, who is CEO of Africa Fintech Network. So it's a large network of, I guess, covering almost all African countries, their Fintech association and Fintech communities. So Dr. Patrick, can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear, Dr. Shasha.
Hello, yes. So tell us about your experience in working in the region. You also lead the government committee in IDEA, right? So from perspective of government, so how can we cooperate more with Central Africa? How can we support their initiatives, and how can we empower the digital economy?
Well, thank you for the opportunity. Well, naturally, Central African Republic is part of Africa. And for us at the network, it's a great opportunity. The timing is perfect. The start of this year, as part of the process of expanding our network, our vice president, we have a nominated vice president. A vice president now sits in Central Africa. covering the entire Central Africa and some other Lusophone countries in the processing of yogos. So we are happy that Central Africa is now formally part, especially DRC, part of the network. We are looking forward to working with countries in that region because I think I've listened to the presentation and the earlier remarks. The opportunities are great, but Africa will be as strong as the weakest link. So except Africans can come together, especially the digital finance space, fintech in particular, it's only by us coming together can we reap the huge benefits that fintech is presenting for the continent. So for us, the timing of Central African Republic, the entire region being part of the African fintech network is perfect. And we look forward to their participation. Collaboration is key, not only at the level of the fintechs, collaboration at the level of government, collaboration at the level of partners, as we're having in case of IDEA. Cross-fertilization of knowledge is very, very important because there is no monopoly knowledge of skills, peer learning. So it's an opportunity for us all to work together as Africans. So we look forward to this be an effective engagement to the region. Listening to the presentation, highly commendable, means plans are afoot, to scale digital finance in that part of Africa. You can count on the AFN for strong support, collaboration in that regard. We can help in content, speakers, etc. So for us, this is timely. So I want to say congratulations to the entire team at Central Africa. We look forward to working with you. Can I stop there? Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Patrick. And I think your experience in international connections and building a large ecosystem within Africa, and also the fact that the president of Africa Fintech Network, the founder of Africa Fintech, is also chairman of IDEA, Dr. Babasegun. So I think we have a lot of advantages to work together collaboratively to support the Central Africa region. And of course, those countries, the main program will happen in Congo, Brazzaville, but the program will include 12 or even more Central African countries. And they can become also part of AFN, those of them who is not yet.
Sorry, I didn't get the question.
Yeah, it's just a sort of proposal and question at the same time.
Okay. What did you say in particular? There was a break.
Yeah, I believe that Central African countries can join to AFN. It will be a very good idea.
Absolutely. As I said, we already have them in our membership. Our vice president is in DRC. Yeah, so DRC is already a member.
Great. Looking forward for the other to catch up and join to AFN. And now I'd like to speak to Mr. Ali Hussein Kasim, another great leader, African leader in IDEA, and who is chairing the Committee for Investments, Fundraising, Private Equity, and Funding. So it's a very important point for growing this ecosystem. Please, Ali, tell us from your experience doing great job in Kenya, what lessons Central Africa can learn, what success story they can adopt in digital payments and mobile money ecosystems, and of course in fundraising.
So let me deal with this step by step. So let's look at first how Kenya was able to move forward, especially in digital payments and mobile money. There was a time when we had a time where there was really no policy framework for digital payments and mobile money, but that has really evolved fairly quickly. And today we have a regulatory approach that is adaptive, and it's an enabling regulatory environment that encourages innovation while ensuring financial stability. So it's taken us a while, but we are now working closely with policymakers and regulators When I say we, I mean the fintech associations, the Association of Fintechs in Kenya and other fintech-related associations have recently come together to form the Fintech Alliance to enable us to have one voice when we are dealing with government. The other one, from a regulatory perspective, we need to allow non-bank financial services providers to be able to enter the market and deliver low-cost services that potentially banks may not be able to because of their cost base. And implement a test and learn approach, which permits new technologies to be piloted before full integration into the ecosystem. I also want to focus on financial inclusion and wellness. There has been a concerted effort with industry and government to ensure that more Kenyans are included within the financial services ecosystem, but not just included, but ensure financial wellness through activities like financial education, financial literacy. I see quite a number of organizations in financial services that are now partnering with policymakers to ensure that the population is financially literate. Obviously, in Kenya, we can't go without talking about mobile money. That has been a very, very crucial area for Kenya. Other countries and jurisdictions and regions can learn, however, to ensure that they don't get to a situation where there's a potential systemic risk in the ecosystem because one player becomes dominant. The other thing that we have learned and this Central African countries can learn is to encourage partnerships between the different players in the ecosystem and create an enabling environment around that. Open finance has become a very important conversation for us, and that is really, really crucial. I invite everybody to join us tomorrow. We have a full day workshop with open finance in Nairobi, where the Association of Fintechs in Kenya, of which I am the chairman. I see my colleague Munyi Mbiga here. Munyi, wave your hand, please, so that people can see you. Who's been super instrumental in ensuring that this event happens tomorrow. Rosemary, I'm not sure whether Rosemary is here, who's also a colleague who has been instrumental. So tomorrow, the fintech ecosystem, the banking ecosystem through the Kenya Bankers Association and Financial Sector Deepening, which is a development partner, is holding a full day discussion and workshop around open finance, which is a culmination of a 4-month research activity that was put together. These are lessons that Central Africa can learn. Consumer protection is crucial in this space as we move towards more digital velocity when it comes to money. We must protect our populations against bad players. Lastly, I want to talk about infrastructure development. The investment in digital infrastructure is crucial. And this is not something that can be left to the private sector alone. There has to be specific and clear private-public partnerships to ensure that digital infrastructure is executed across the continent so that more people can get onto the financial services ecosystem. Last but not least, promotion of interoperability between different payment systems and providers. And this speaks to my earlier conversation around open finance. And this is something that has to be led by both policymakers, regulators, and industry. Thank you, Dr. Alex Tito. Back to you.
Would it be possible, guys, that if you're speaking, that we turn on the video whenever your bandwidth is would allow it? Only because we're doing specialized videos for everyone speaking. Thank you very much.
Yes, and thank you so much, Ali. We will switch to next speaker, Ms. Bourgeli Ampillon. So she's from Congo, but we know that you have a sort of international business related to Hong Kong as well in the area of consulting and legal. So please tell us more about your experience in international work related to Congo. What sectors are the most interesting in digital economy? Maybe share with us some projects which are very hard to discuss. Ms. Bourgeli?
Yes, hello everyone. Hello, do you hear me properly? Thank you for
Yes,
having
dear.
me today in this webinar. Thank you. Mbote Nabino, as we say in Congo. I'm very glad to be part of this meeting today. And as you said, I am Congolese, African, but also very international. I am a business lawyer, international business lawyer. I am the managing partner of the firm called Lexa International. It's a legal, tax, and financial strategic firm that is based in Congo-Brazzaville and in Cameroon. And we have a presence in Hong Kong. I used to be a registered foreign lawyer in Hong Kong, so I take this opportunity to say a special greetings to my Hong Kong fellows and, of course, to everyone. So what we do basically at Lexa is we help and assist international investors with their investment in Central Africa, and specifically in Congo. Generally, by making sure that they're set up properly, making sure that they assess properly their business, their legal and tax risks, may they be local or regional. We make sure that we give them legal and administrative assistance. So we have different kinds of clients, international investors. We have local clients also already based in Central Africa that we assist in the same way. And we have also, we give an assistance to the public sector as well. We assist some ministries and some state-owned enterprises. And we do so in the ICT sector. We do so both in the infrastructure level and in the service level. So that's basically what we do at Lexa. And hopefully we will have a chance to meet when you guys will come to visit, when you'll come into Congo. And what I can say, I've been asked to talk a little bit about the regulatory and the legal matters in terms of ICT in Central Africa, and I'm happy to do so. And I've been asked to, I wanted to talk about the obstacles, but before doing so, I would like us to understand what we are talking about when we say legal and regulatory system in Central Africa. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the sub-regional legal frameworks. In ICT law, we have a sub-regional level, which is CEMAC law, and a local level, which is Congo law. In investment law also, I will talk a little bit about investment law because I think it can be useful for any investor listening or any person interested in investing in the region. We have sub-regional level of law, which is CEMAC law and OHADA law, that I will explain a little bit. And I will explain also a little bit of the Congolese law in terms of investment. So ICT and investment, I'm going to talk a little bit about those two levels. So as you might know, CEMAC is the Economic and Monetary Communities of Central Africa. It involves 6 countries: the Republic of Congo, Cameroon, Gabon, Equatorial Guinea, Central African Republic, and Chad. CEMAC's objective is to promote a regulatory framework so that there is an efficient and genuine common market for those countries. So in terms of ICT, CEMAC law has improved significantly within the past 2 decades, let's say. And we can also see this improvement in the Republic of Congo, and I think in most of sub-regional and Central African countries, a real improvement over the past 2 decades in terms of infrastructure, but also in terms of legal and regulations. So let me tell you a little bit what CEMAC has done within the past 10 to 15 years in the digital sector and the communication sector. CEMAC has put together, let's say, some regulation taking care of activity of issuing electronic money, some regulation to take care of electronic communications within the CEMAC member states, some regulation on competition. And we need to know that all those CEMAC rules are directly applicable into the legal framework of the member states, which includes Congo. In Congo, we can see that around 2018, 2019, lots of laws and regulation has been put into place in the ICT sector. I can tell you a few of them, which are the protection of personal data. We have laws on cyber security and some laws to fight against cybercrime, legislation for digital startups and technological innovation. And we have also a legislation creating the National Agency for Security and National Information Systems, which is a regulatory body. And in 2019, the government has also approved a decree for the national strategy for the development of digital economy. So this is in the ICT part of the CEMAC regulation and Congo regulation. I want to talk a little bit about the investment part of the spectrum, which is very important because we need to know that we can invest in the ICT sector in a safe way. And some rules has been put together in the CEMAC level. And in 1999, the CEMAC, the community has put together the investment charter. This investment charter gives lots of incentives for foreign investors to invest into the CEMAC member states. And if you want more details, I will be able to give them to you later on or offline. The CEMAC also has put together the foreign exchange regulations in 2018, which is very important because it allows and protects repatriation of funds overseas for investors. And I think it's very important to know that it's safe to invest in Africa and specifically in Central Africa. We also have to mention OHADA law. OHADA law is the business law in Africa and let's say in Central and Western Africa because it includes 17 countries. So in 17 countries, you have the exact same law in terms of general commercial law, securities, debt recovery, and arbitration, and which are very important for investors to know that they are secured in these areas, and it's kind of global. In 17 countries, you can invest based on the same rules. Let me give you an example, please. Let's say that you set up a limited liability company, a startup that is a limited liability company in Congo. If you want to set up its a subsidiary, let's say in DRC, in Kinshasa, you will be facing this exact same, or in details, the exact same process. So, which is gives more insight. It's easier for the investor to come to Central Africa and to feel secure. And as I said before, all the sub-regional laws are directly applied in the member states legal framework. So the investment charter is available in Republic of Congo since 2003. OHADA law is already there. You can benefit from all those legal rules in Congo, and for OHADA in the 17 countries involved, and for CEMAC in the 6 countries that we mentioned earlier. When we say that, what do we understand? We understand that those legal and regulatory initiatives make Central African countries, such as Congo, safe and attractive places to invest in. Which means that the real problem is not really the problem of regulatory. When we talk about regulatory challenges, regulatory obstacle, hurdles, it's not really the legal system itself, because we have a legal system in place which is kind of strong. The main problem can be seen due to the lack or the absence of appropriate infrastructures to meet the legal requirements, to make sure that those legal requirements protect and work as we wanted them to work. Let me give you an example by asking a question, for example. In Congo, we have a regulation on cybersecurity. We also have a law to fight against cybercrime, which is great. But do we have the infrastructures? Do we have the tools to make sure that those laws are properly enforced? That's the point. That's maybe, in my opinion, the main challenges that we need to face: the infrastructure and the tool availability.
Ms.
And that's
Marjorie,
where
I think I just suggest to keep the time a little bit, if you can wrap up.
Yeah,
speech,
I'm
please.
going to wrap up. That's where the private sector can be very useful, and I want to finish with that. It can be useful by setting up private and public-private partnerships in infrastructure to make sure that we have infrastructure that are strong in terms of data centers, all that, systems, optic fibers, or foreign direct investors. The last point that I want to make is to make sure that people know that there are some projects that can be that the investor can invest in Congo. For example, in startups, we have different startups that have been launched locally. We have, and Mr. Misidimbasi of Ocean can give you more details on that. And such startups the investor can invest into those startups. And that can be a very good opportunity to have a foot in Congo. And to finish and to wrap up, I would like to make a special call for technical and financial investment in Congo Telecom. Congo Telecom is our national telecom company, which is looking for technical and financial support, and we'll be happy to give you more information if you need. Thank you for the opportunity for this opportunity to talk to you today, and thank you for your kind attention.
Definitely. Thank you so much for sharing such interesting insights and really practical tools how to do business in Congo and about the project to invest. So we'll definitely continue working with you together. And now I'd like to ask Ms. Balbine Manga, who is from Cameroon. She's an expert in ICT, cyber legislation, internet governance. So please share, we know that you're already a long-standing partner of ASEAN and Mr. Luke, and have experience in working with Congo and partnering with Congo Brazzaville. Please share with us your experience and which maybe some interesting projects related to digital health or cybersecurity which you are implementing together. Ms. Balbin? Can you hear me? Okay, maybe we'll come back to Ms. Balbin. So now the next speaker is Mr. Joseph. Joseph from Ethiopia. Can you hear us? He is idea leader.
Hello.
And Ms. Balbin,
Hello.
sorry.
Yes,
If you
can you hear
if you can
me?
answer the question, please continue.
Yeah. Sorry,
Take it.
sorry.
No problem.
I told you that it's very difficult issue of network. So thank you for having me. Thank you to let me be part of this wonderful discussion. I have been asked to talk about digital health solution to improve healthcare access and efficiency in Central Africa. And they also asked me to let you people know what we can have as investment opportunity in Central Africa in the sector of health. So I have also to share with you the experience of Cameroon being a partner of ASEAN. So first of all, I'm a lawyer. So I'm from legal sector, but as a lawyer, I'm also somebody who need access for health. So it's not a problem for me to talk about health in access of health in Central Africa, talking of the area of digital. What digital can bring us opportunity in health sector is having doctors working together in our own area. So like Cameroon from Gabon, from Congo. As you people know, it is not especially from Africa or especially from Central Africa. We know that in rural areas, people don't have easy access to healthcare. So in Central Africa, this is the main problem. And even in town, when you have healthcare, it's from some people who have a financial power. So we have this problem of the cost, but with the digital, we have developed some innovative products that are working. Like here, we have some application for women, pregnant women that can use it to access doctors and have a visit, have a consultation or a diagnostic via this application. And with ASEAN, the opportunity is open for the whole region. So ASEAN is like a bridge to other countries, because what is working in Cameroon, for example, can work in Congo, can work in Chad or in Gabon. So ASEAN is like a bridge for all our countries. And somebody said it before me, we need to work together. We need to work together to share experience, learn from each other, because you have some application and project that are working in one country and is not known in another country. And ASEAN comes here to bring all those people together in order to have this framework and work together. So as I told you, I'm a lawyer. So as somebody who needs health care, I think that you people can investor can help to build more hospitals, invest in the equipment of the hospital, because some diseases need some special equipment, and in our countries we don't have this, and we experience this during the COVID crisis. Many people died because they didn't have access to health, and we didn't have some equipment to bring together these doctors we have or drugs to these people who needed it. So the challenges are in terms of equipment, infrastructure, like the other state, and we need to work on the network, because if we put some equipment that needs network and doctors are there, they can use it, and we don't have network, it will be a big problem. So the big challenges we have in Central Africa and in Africa in general, if I can say so, is the problem of the infrastructure and the network. Our experience as Cameroonian coming to Ocean is to work with Mr. Luke and his field to have these people who are participating on this challenge of project to showcase their know-how and learn from others who participate in this challenge, and together we can shape this. If I can say, we can shape this network within which we can work together. And if I can stop there, as I told you, talking about health is like I'm also somebody who needs welfare. So that's what I can say, talking about Central Africa. And I think that this can be applied to Africa in general. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Bobine. We wish to work together with you. Thank you for your insights. And next is Mr. Joseph Kibret. Joseph, you're back from Ethiopia. You are co-chairing Tech and Products Committee within IDEA. Please share with us also some good practices from Ethiopia in digital transformation, because we know your country is also doing well now. What some key takeaways we can apply in Central Africa, in particular in terms of private-public collaboration? Tell us some practices for e-government and how to improve efficiency in Central Africa's economy.
Thank you, Dr. Alex. Hello, Christina. Hello, Mr. Ali, Dr. Patrick. Hello, everyone. I thank you very much for having this opportunity to share my experience in this webinar. My name is Joseph Korat from Ethiopia. I was in the Fintech industry in the last 25 years at different positions, being a CEO now, leading a company at this time. You know, Ethiopia digital transformation journey, especially in the last 5 years, is a paramount. This is one of the key leapfrogging of this fintech industry or digital transformation in Ethiopia is that the strong government leadership and vision, which means Ethiopian government has played a pivotal role in driving digital transformation by setting clear goals and creating a conducive policy environment. In this regard, we can see some showcases. If you take the telecom liberalization, Ethiopia liberalized its telecom sector, has attracted significant investment and heightened competition, leading to improved service delivery. This demonstrates how opening up key sectors can drive innovation and economic growth. You know, currently, not only for telecom liberalization, Ethiopia also moving, opening of the bank and finance and DFS sector for foreign nationals, and also retail business also open for foreign nationals. So there are many regulatory reform in this regard. And also from strategic framework perspective, for leveraging digital technology across various sectors, including agriculture, health, education, and finance. In addition to that, there is an agile regulation, especially in the last 3 years. We can say an agile regulation, Ethiopian regulatory reform, have supported emerging technologies and attracted foreign investment in this regard. If you see other area of movements, also the public-private partnership, Ethiopia has leveraged currently the public-private partnership to accelerate the digital infrastructure development, which is as a showcase, you can see the investment of fiber network by the government, and mobile connectivity is public-private. The M-Pesa Safaricom is now in our country. It's a private company, which is start installation of the fiber network in Ethiopia. If we say data center building, there are many private companies here in Ethiopia who are building the digital infrastructure, a big data center in our country. With regard to the capacity building, Ethiopia has emphasized the importance of building digital skills through training programs and partnership with educational institutions. On digital financial services, Ethiopia has made significant progress in expanding digital finance services such as mobile money. With regard to collaborations with international partners, Ethiopia has collaborated with international organizations, tech companies to advance its digital agenda. So from the monitoring and evaluations, the perspective, Ethiopia has implemented mechanism to monitor and evaluate the progress of its digital transformation initiatives. So Central Africa can take this lesson from Ethiopia. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Yoda. We believe in this exchange and knowledge sharing between countries, which will be beneficial for Central Africa in this case. And the next speaker is Chilekwa Banda from Zambia. She is also co-chair of ID Events Committee. So she's the best person to ask how to support the global event and bring community networks to the special occasion. So Chilekwa, please share with us your experience in Africa and already an idea as a global co-chair for events.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Alex, and thank you for the opportunity to speak into this. Hello, everyone. Well, basically, from a Zambian perspective, looking at how we have so many events centered around financial inclusion, digitalization. We have tech events, and then looking at it on a global scale. With the inclusion of IDEA and being part of the events committee as co-chair, this means that we have a wider access to networks, right? If we look at all of us here and everyone else listening in, you can already see the power of association, because through our individual networks and being on a platform such as this, it means we are already connected globally, right? So from IDEA, what we've done is we've created a template where anyone from any association across Africa can input information around the events surrounding technology and innovation. That means we get to understand from a data analysis perspective, from an investment perspective, how we can tap into the different events that are happening on a wider scale. One of the challenges, you agree with me, is that we have so many events that are coming on board, especially looking at this is Q1 of 2025, right? But we are all pressed for time. You don't know which event to attend. You don't know where to put in your time. And this gives us an opportunity to have one platform where we can all access events on a global scale. It's not just about events. With events, we know that we have opportunities to reach out to the startups, right? Which are the core of our existence. We are trying to ensure that we have all the entrepreneurs, the SMEs, the MSMEs that are struggling to have access to funding, that are struggling to have opportunities to interact with subject matter experts such as ourselves, that have access challenges accessing international trade, for example, and networks to deal with cross-border payments or conversations. I think the previous speaker before you, Zeph, sorry, I can't remember the name, but she did mention, she gave an example of a solution that they have thought is something that we could tap into, looking at where the hospitals and the health sector was during the time of COVID, right, in Congo. So if you look at all these opportunities, that's an opportunity for a fintech to come in and innovate a solution. That means if we know where these networks are, we are giving access to the fintechs who have the solutions to be able to interact with the people that have the problems that they need to solve for. So from the events committee, we are very excited about what's coming ahead, and we hope that if we do share the link, we'll have more people being able to input data from across the globe so that we have one database where we can access all these opportunities from.
Thank you very much, Chilekwa. We just ask other please to mute their microphone. Thank you very much.
9900.
Ms. Balbin, please could you mute your
Oh, sorry.
No problem. No problem.
Okay.
Chilekwa, you are right. Of course, event is a good thing to have, but we are always looking for practical results and outcomes after the event, what projects we can implement together. And now, Olga Kavira. Hello, Olga. You are from DRC, so you are pretty familiar with the region and with Congo and other neighboring countries. So please share with us. You also represent government side and as director for Ministry of Post, Telecommunication and Digital Economy. So what is your experience to attract, because now we speak a lot about investment as a biggest driver for digital transformation in the region. So what is your experience, how to encourage and attract foreign investment in digital technologies? And maybe tell us also, because we know DRC is such a big country, how you also ensure that digital transformation reaches those rural regions, right? How it can be more inclusive and beneficial for rural population.
Thank you very much for everyone, Dr. Alexander and Christina, for the invitation. I'm so happy to be with you in this webinar. Yes, I work in Ministry of Post, as you say, telecommunication and digital affairs. And in my department, I'm play a very pivotal role in shaping policies and strategies to help government to regulate all infrastructure or regulate framework and all strategies to develop digital in the country. And what can I say? To encourage investment in the digital technology in Africa, especially in my country, DRC Congo, it's essentially to adapt regulation frameworks by considering many elements. And I think the most one is to harmonize, first of all, the regulations. DRC is in many regions, such as the Economic Community of Central African States, such as SADC, and it will be very important to coordinate approach at the level of the economic and to attract investment by creating a stable and predictable environment. That's the first element. The second one, the country is very big, and to help startups or societies to help government to build a very strategy for digital, it will be better the government to reduce taxes. There is many taxes in DRC. And with the law of Code du Numérique, you assist that it's difficult for startup to build business. And I think that it will be better to reduce taxes on ICT infrastructure and to offer in what can I say it, tax and incentives. I don't know is the correct word, but I think is that to companies which invest in the digital technology. Another thing, another element to ensure digital transformation effort is to make deployment of infrastructure. You have very difficult with environmental investment because there is no in the sector rural area, there is no centers of learning digital. There is no center of develop the service online. There is no center for example, local solutions to help agriculture to make business. And I think that it will be better to make deployment of infrastructure in that area, and after that it can be better to facilitate access to financing, creating innovating financial mechanism to for tech startup or to make a public-private partnership. That is the way the government has many programs in the sector with startup, with telecom societies, and with private sector to help the sector to grow up. And I think that will be the better thing to do if government continue in this way. I don't know if I answered for your question, because there is a problem of connectivity here. It's raining.
Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello?
Olga. Yes.
Yeah. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Would you like to add something to your answer, or you said everything you wanted to say?
Yes, I think that it's okay because the connection is not good here. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to be so resilient, and even through connection difficulties, we can gather the global community together today. And as we speak a lot of importance of agriculture sector and its role in economy of Central African countries. So here we have Muni Ntiga from Kenya, who is Secretary General for Association Fintechs in Kenya. And in the other hand, he's Agri-Tech Chair for Idea Committee. So Muni, considering what Olga shared with us and the previous speakers, we're talking about. So what practices, what agricultural initiatives in agri-tech we can introduce in Central African countries can be successfully adapted and learn also from Kenya. So please share your perspective with us.
Right. Thank you, Alexander. Hi, everyone from Nairobi, Kenya. It's quite hot and sunny here. I don't know what the weather is in the rest part of Africa and the rest of the world. So I'll be very quick so that we can, save on time. So I'll just start by noting that in Sub-Saharan Africa, the agriculture sector contributes more than 20% of the GDP in most of Sub-Saharan Africa. That's a fact across most economies in Sub-Saharan Africa. However, you find that in agriculture is one of the least financed sectors of the economy. If I give the example of Kenya, for example, or across actually the example of East Africa, which should be a good indicator of how much resources are put in agriculture in Sub-Saharan Africa. Only 47% of bank credit goes into the agriculture sector. So you can imagine, you contribute more than 20% into the GDP of a country. However, you only receive less than 5% in terms of credit and financing from the formal financial services sector. So there is a huge disparity in there. And then you ask yourself, why is this happening? And what we've come to realize, having built agri-tech platforms in Africa, is the agri sector in Africa is highly fragmented. What do I mean by that? It means that movement of value and payments along the value chain is quite disconnected. So when you think of when farmers produce and the produce is aggregated before it gets into processing, how do we have the market linkages? How do the farmers connect into the market? And then after that happens, then how do they get paid? And in how long? And in what format? So these are the issues. And then when you think about smallholder farmers, they're the ones who are most excluded from the digital economy. And therefore, even as we speak about digital finance, digital payments and all that, this is not able to get back down to the smallholder farmers. So these are the issues that we're looking at. So the fragmentation of the agricultural sector, as it were, market linkages, challenges in farmer production. We've got challenges in crop insurance in case of crop failure. And then there's something emerging in the agriculture sector that I would call the information economy. As in, how does information flow to smallholder farmers, for example? Information about production, information about markets, information about weather prediction, information about government policy, which impacts how they produce. So this what I'm calling information economy still is yet to be distilled in the agri sector, as it were. So what lessons are we learning from Africa? What do we need to do from what we are seeing in the agri-tech space? I think, number one, we need to integrate the ecosystem. I talked about fragmentation. So how do we connect all the players? I like calling it connecting the dots. How do you connect farmers to aggregators? How do you connect aggregators to processors? How do you connect processors to the market? And the market in this case is international market. It could be the local market. So how do you create that seamless connectivity all the way from farm to market? And then number two is, how do we get financial institutions more interested in agriculture? So today, traditional financial institutions in Africa are risk averse. And the reason why mostly they do not really touch the smallholder farmers is because they do not have the insights or the data that will allow them to make decisions on lending. So then how do we then bring this data to the fore? How do we digitize smallholder farmers, aggregators, and processors so that they are available to be serviced in the digital economy? So then the result of that is then getting financial institutions interested in participating in agriculture. And then number three is, which is tied to the second one, is creating transparency. Because what's happening right now is many people do not know what really is happening within the agri sector. How much are farmers producing, in what frequency, what's the price get, what is the frequency of getting paid, what are their margins, what is a gap in terms of working capital, what are the post-harvest losses so that they can calculate risks and things like that. So what are the international prices? Are they fluctuating? Are they stable? And things like that. So how do we create transparency to all these insights and all these data sets that will allow more people to be interested in participating in this economy? And then finally is what we call use case financing. More often than not, I would give another again example of Kenya. It is one of the most funded in Africa in terms of agriculture by what we call the development partners. If you think of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, USAID, Grameen Foundation, name them. Kenya receives the hugest chunk of funding in the agriculture sector across Africa. But the question always begs, does this money get to the farmer? More often than not, it doesn't. So there's kind of a leaking bucket in there. So how do we seal this leaking bucket to make sure that money gets to the intended purpose? There's another use case where banks loan processors to increase their production, but then this money is diverted to other use cases. So how do you make sure that money that goes into agriculture actually reaches the use case for which it was intended for? This is the transparency I'm talking about. This is the connecting the dots that I'm talking about, so that if you put money on one end, it gets onto the other end without getting lost, without any elements of fraud or leakages. So this is what I'm calling use case financing, making sure that any investment put in agriculture actually gets to the actors of the ecosystem that it is intended to get to. So these are some of the things that I highlight in Agric, and I think I would call it is one of the low-hanging fruits, especially for sub-Saharan Africa, given that it impacts millions of people, hundreds of millions of people in sub-Saharan Africa. For example, in Kenya, there are 1.8 million smallholder farmers who are impacting 4 to 6 household members 4 to 6 household members. So you can imagine these are around 6 to 7 million people only in one country that are impacted by this single sector. So you can imagine if you extrapolate that across 23 sub-Saharan African countries, you can imagine the impact that would have if we solve some of these challenges that I'm speaking to. So I'll stop there because of time, but those are quite a couple of the insights that we see in agriculture. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Muni. And I believe we can apply those strategies and practices, what you shared, to make an impact in agriculture sector using our network and community. And I think at this note, the cohort of our African leaders is coming to the end, and we opening a new line of speakers representing global majority, so international partners of IDEA. And the first speaker is IDEA chair for Latin America. He's also the CEO of Transfero Group, and he's expert in blockchain and payments industry. I think also very, very, very interesting field to leverage on. So Marlison Silva, Marlison, share with us how do you think blockchain and crypto can play a role in digital transformation, in particularly in that region, Central Africa, and how Central African startups and companies can collaborate with international partners like Transfero and other partners in IDEA ecosystem.
Hi all, it's a pleasure to be here with you. And I think that Africa it's a huge piece of the world, and I think that if we could join forces, we can grow fast and we can leverage a lot of problems with new solutions. And blockchain or crypto, it's one of these kind of solutions that we can use right now, right? So blockchain and crypto are not just technology, they are powerful enablers of financial inclusion and economic acceleration. And in regions like Central Africa, I think that where traditional infrastructure often fails to reach everyone, blockchain can bring the opportunity to have access or deliver access for everyone. Okay, so at Transfero, we see blockchain as a bridge, as a tool to connect, and one that connects people, business, and governments to the global economy. So through stablecoins, cross-border payments, infrastructure, and crypto-based financial services, we can transform realities in Latin America. And we believe that Central Africa can use these solutions as well, okay? And about how Central Africa can help startups, companies collaborate, or even be connected with the global majority or the global economy. I think that the truth is traditional payment system, they were not designed to emerging markets. So in Brazil, I had a lot of struggling times to open a new bank accounts outside Brazil. And the problem was not to have a new business outside Brazil, was to send money to fund those companies, right? So in 2019, I opened my first fund in Bahamas. I incorporated the company there. I opened everything. I had my bank account, and I had to send $10,000, I think. And I had a bank account here in Brazil with more than 20 years. And the bank, after 2 weeks after my first request, it was not able to send money to Bahamas. And after one week talking with a startup, 48 hours later, the money was in Bahamas. And I started to talk with the manager of this Fintech here in Brazil. And the Fintech was using the infrastructure of my bank. So what I discovered by myself, the solution is at the market, but the market doesn't know how to use it. And the Fintech ecosystem and the startups, they are trying to build this new model and deliver more efficiency on using the same products and services that we already have as banks or payments service provider, right?